Hey guys, thought I'd do one of these political compass tests. I was actually going to do the 8 political values test, but had some issues during the recording and it was towards the end of it, and I really didn't want to retake the same test, considering and answer the same questions again because that'd just be boring for me, and I really wouldn't give the right answers when I'm narrating what I'm thinking and everything. So I thought I'd just take a political compass test instead. I know it's a lot, like everyone's done it, but now I'm going to do it too. So we're going to start from the start. Here we go. Just a few propositions to starting with, concerning with no less how you see the country in the world. And just a disclaimer here, I am from Australia, but I am going to pivot between Australia and America just because America is pretty much part of a massive part of the Western world. So I'm going to speak on their behalf. Forgive me if I do some ignorant things with that, but I feel like it's important because I can't really speak solely for Australia all the time because we're just not really important enough. But anyway, let's start this. If economic globalism is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than issues of transnational corporations. I can agree with that. I'd happily support my country whether it was right or wrong. Disagree. No one chooses his or her country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. Disagree. You're allowed to have pride for your country. Just because it's a coincidence of birth doesn't mean you shouldn't have pride from where you're born. Our race has many superior qualities compared with other races. Strongly disagree. I'm not getting into that fucking barrel of snakes. I'm not. Just not getting into that barrel of snakes. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Let's see. Yeah, strongly disagree. No, I strongly agree with this. My enemy is my friend. Sometimes that's the way wars are won. Military action that defies international law is sometimes justified. I disagree. There is now a worrying infusion of information entertainment. Strongly agree. Okay. Now the economy, we're talking attitudes here, not the FTSE index. People are ultimately divided more by class than nationality. Strongly agree. Controlling inflation is important. Then controlling unemployment. Disagree. If you have a better employed people, chances are inflation isn't going to go as drastically. That shouldn't be controlled by government in the first place. Anyway, because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulations. I disagree with that. Usually, if the environment is affected enough, the government will step in and make it better. Not the government, sorry, the corporation. From each according to his ability, each according to his need is a fundamentally good idea. Strongly disagree. It is a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now bottled, branded consumer product. Strongly agree. Think you're all brainwashed to drink bottled water. Just take it from the tap or filter it. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold. Strongly disagree. It is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to society. I strongly agree with that. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. I don't even know what the fuck that really means. That's just a really nebulous saying. I'm just going to say disagree. The other, actually, probably is important. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. Only social responsibility? No. It has to take care of its customers. So strongly disagree. Its primary thing is its customers, which is directly related to its shareholders. The happier the customer, the happier the shareholders. The rich are too highly taxed. Tough one. Hang on. Just a pause. the rich are too highly taxed. Considering they pay the most taxes out of anyone, and they probably should because they can afford it, I'm going to say... But, once again, a lot of them could afford more, but this is a pretty neutral one. I think they're taxed enough already. I don't think it's a disagree or agree stance. Sorry about my cat meow in the background. I apologise. I'll go and get it later. Bear with me. Okay, I'm going to agree. Okay, so those with the ability to pay should have higher standards of medical kids. I strongly agree, because I'm going to make this argument. So I'm going to reiterate that. Yeah, because I was a bit rushed. I believe that when the rich have, like, and America's a really good example of this. They have some of the they pay some of the most in healthcare in the world, but they also have the most innovations when it comes to healthcare. You know, they come up with the best medications and the best cures and the best treatments for diseases that we treat now all around the world. And I think a part of this is because they pay for a better standard of care for the rich, and that eventually trickles down. And trickle-down economics doesn't always work, but in this scenario, I think it does. Government should penalise businesses that mislead the public. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'm not going to strongly agree, but if governments have to exist, and if businesses falsify their things to the people, they should be punished. I think, once again, this should be a thing where the people should take control of that themselves, but it seems we're incapable of doing that at the moment. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator manipulations to create monopolies. I'll agree with that. The freer the market, the freer the people. Strongly agree. Abortion when the woman's life is... Oh. Now I look at some personal social values. Abortion where a woman's life is not threatened should always be illegal. Disagree. Not saying it should always be legal, but for the most part, 90%. I don't know what the exact percentage is, but a vast majority of them are before 8 weeks, and that's where most, even pretty conservative people can agree. The woman's life takes precedent over the fetuses. All authority should be questioned. I'll agree with that. An eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth makes the whole world blind. So I'm going to disagree. Revenge is not justice. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any threats or museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. This is a tough one because we've created a circumstance where we've got museums that have things that need to exist, but the government shouldn't be part of that, So, I'm going to say agree. I'm going to say if a market can do it better, let it. Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory. Strongly disagree. If you're going to have schools, people have to attend. Once again, you can make better schools, but you still have to make the people attend. All people have their rights, but it's better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep their... What? No. Good parents sometimes spank their children. I strongly disagree with this. All the evidence says that violence on children is a bad idea and leads to bad behaviour as they grow up. If you're someone who's the exception to this, congratulations. But once again, the evidence that a spank doesn't usually lead to higher conflict is pretty substantial. It's natural for children to keep secrets from their parents. I agree. Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offence. Strongly agree. The prime function of schooling should be to equip their future generation to find jobs. To disagree. That should not be the prime function. The prime function should be to survive in society into, a adjust to it, I guess. We're going to have an incredible, couple decades coming up where automation's going to take over and people are going to know how to take care of themselves or even maybe possibly survive without jobs. What's going to happen then when 90% of the jobs are replaced by a friendly robot? You're going to need to find another way to survive. People with serious disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. Ooh, this is tough. Should someone with a disability that's so severe it's going to ensure that their child suffers greatly? I don't think you should force anyone to do anything, so I'm going to say disagree. It's kind of unsavory to do that, but it's a people's choice, and it's one of those things that you can't control it, because where do you stop it? The most important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline. I disagree. Strongly disagree, actually. That is not it's to, I guess, understand consequences, and that's not the same as discipline. There are no savage and civilized people. There are only different cultures. Strongly disagree. There are definitely savage cultures. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society's support. I agree. When you are troubled, it is better not to think about it, but to keep busy with cheerful things. Strongly disagree. Get help. Get fixed. Get back into society. First generation immigrants can never be fully integrated within their... That's complete bullshit. Jewish people do it incredibly well. And other races do it too, but I think the Jewish people, especially during World War II, when they immigrated to America, they did an incredible job integrating with America, and I think they're the perfect example of that. There are many other people, of course, that are the Irish, the Italians. There's even Mexicans and Asians and many other races in America and in Australia too that integrate very well with our country. What's good for the most successful corporation is ultimately good for all of us. Disagree. No broadcasting institution, however independent its content, should receive public funding. Disagree. No, I agree. If you can't make it on the free market your own, fuck off. Now look at some of your personal values. Wait. Oh, I've got one. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any threats. I agree. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counter-terrorism. Strongly agree. Significant advantage of one party, one state is that it avoids all the arguments that delay progress in domestic. I agree with that. That's one of the good things about America, is that you guys have that. Wait, I disagree. This isn't America. This is one party, one state, which means it's dictatorial, doesn't it? Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. I strongly disagree. I think when there's so many laws that you can't keep track of them and every person breaks, roughly 3 laws a day, having surveillance around all the time is insanely dangerous. The death penalty should be an option for the most serious crimes. Strongly disagree. Only because we can never be 100% certain that someone... If we can be 100% certain, maybe, but there's too many examples of people who have been killed with the death penalty that shouldn't have been, who are innocent. And that kind of makes us all murderers if we allow that to happen. In a civilized society, one must always have... In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be command. I don't even understand this. Civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed. one must always know. And once again, you can't have these absolutes. It makes some of these tests really hard. Abstract art that doesn't represent anything shouldn't be considered art at all. Strongly agree. Piss Christ is not art. Sorry. In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. Disagree. Rehabilitation is more important. It is a waste of time to try and rehabilitate some criminals. Some, very few, I'll agree, yes. The business person and the manufacturer are the most important than the writer and the artist. Yeah, I'm going to say agree. They keep us alive. You know, the other ones keep us entertained, which is fantastic. I'm one of those people who does trying to do that now as a job, but I don't think it's more important than being fed. Mothers have careers, but their first opportunity is to be homemakers. Now, I'm not saying they should be, but I'm saying I think they'd be happy if they tried this. Once again, mothers who are stay-at-home mothers tend to be more happy than working mums. I think the evidence is clear, and I'm happy to talk about that evidence if anyone's interested. Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant resource for developing countries, planet's genetic. I'm gonna say I don't know enough about this subject. You've got to give me an example. What? Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. Disagree. Okay, we're pretty close. If you got through that okay, you'll find these propositions a breeze. On religion, a breeze. Astrology accurately explains many things. Strongly disagree. You cannot be moral without being religious. Strongly disagree. You can... Actually, I'm going to disagree with that because there are plenty of people who are amoral without religion, but I do think you can be moral without it. They're saying cannot. They're giving an absolute. Charity is better than social security as a means of helping the people. Strongly agree. Some people are naturally unlucky. I agree. It is important that my child's school instills religious values. Disagree. Strongly disagree. Sex out child. Let's look at that sex, baby. Let's look about you and me. Alright. Sex outside marriage is usually immoral. Usually. I'm gonna disagree with this because I've had it before, so I can't really be a hypocrite. But you shouldn't go nuts, people. Just, have some fun and calm the fuck down after like half a dozen or something. A same-sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from possibility of adoption. Strongly agree. Pornography depicting consenting adults should be legal for the adult population. Strongly agree. What goes on in a private bedroom between consenting adults is no business of state. Strongly agree. No one can feel naturally homosexual. I'm not a homosexual at all. I don't know how to answer this. This is strongly disagree. It doesn't seem like that makes sense. These days, openness about sex has gone too far. I'm going to say strongly agree. Let's see where I stand. Hey, I'm pretty libertarian. Center libertarian. Interesting. Let's find out a little bit more about this. Both an economic dimension. You can also put Pinochet, who prepared to sanction mass killing for the sake of far right as well, in the hardcore authoritarian position. Seeing anarchism as left wing. Is there anything else? I'm gonna save my image. I don't know if there's much to add about this. You know, I'm pretty happy with that for the most part. I'm pretty centered. You know, I try to be. Personalised political compass sensitive. Yeah, I'm interested to see if there's anyone else that got something like that, because that's pretty freaking centre. You know? And I'm glad that I'm closer to the libertarian than authoritarian. Hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know really how to react to this. There's no commentary or anything about my reaction from them, so I guess I have to talk about it myself. Yeah. So I think that's about right. You know, I'm surprised I'm a little bit more right-wing considering some of the answers I made, but for the most part, yeah. I guess a lot of the answers I made for, like, protecting gays and everything made me more left-wing, at least according to them. But usually I'm just maximum freedom. You know, everyone has a right to do what they want as long as it's not illegal. If you enjoyed this channel, if you enjoyed this video, or you enjoyed anything that I talked about, or any of the studies, I'm not going to cite the studies I mentioned, but if there's anything you're more curious about me to talk about more in depth regarding this video, please comment down below or let me know in any of my streams. I'm happy to make videos, you know, exclusively about some of the topics I discussed, and I hope you enjoyed the video and you guys have a great day. Please like, subscribe, and listen to me on Gator and Frog podcast, which is on every Saturday. Saturdays for you guys, Sundays for me. Enjoy. Good night.